While the XDR Connect platform is built on top of the OpenShift container platform, the risk of data loss is still a possibility, and as such, data backups are still highly recommended for your XDR Connect environment. In this video, we're going to cover how to manually and automatically back up your XDR Connect databases and configurations. First, let's look at how to manually back up our XDR Connect environment. Let's go ahead and connect to our XDR Connect environment and open up the OpenShift Container Platform web console. Once you're in the web console, click in the top right for your CLI login command. Once you have the command, go over to your CLI and log in to your console there. Once connected to your OpenShift cluster at the CLI level, let's go ahead and make sure that the CP4S backup restore pod is up and running. As we can see, there is one pod up and running. If it's not running, then you'll want to delete the pod so that it will restart. Okay, now that we have the pod name and that we verify that it is up and running, let's go ahead and execute the backup script on that pod, which will connect into the databases on your XDR Connect environment and back them up. OC execute the pod name, and then we're going to put in the entry for the backup script. And then lastly, we need to give the backup script a password that it will encrypt the backup data with. And now the backup script is running against all of the databases and configurations on your CP4S or XDR Connect environment. There are also additional arguments or command flags you can give to that script to limit what you back up. There's a dash couch just to back up the couch database data, dash cases to just the case management data, dash PG for Postgres database. You can also do a dash keep files to modify the number of backup files to keep, and then a dash prune only to prune your backup files. This method backs up the database files and configurations and cases locally into that backup and restore pod. Once the backup is complete, we'll run a rsync command to pull the files down local to our local system. Now that some time has passed, we can see that the backup procedure has completed. And the next step would be to download the backup data from the backup and restore pod onto our local system using the rsync command. In order to run the rsync command, we need to get the pod name again of the backup restore pod, and then also provide a local path for the backup files to be downloaded to. This command downloads the entire backup directory from the backup and restore pod. If you'd like, you can specify an individual file from the pod by adding more directories and files to the end of the op data backup path. Now we're going to let rsync download the files from the backup and restore pod. And then once that's complete, we'll continue on. If rsync does fail, then you simply just run the command again and it will pick up where it left off. Up to this point, we've walked through how to manually back up our XDR Connect environment and pull it down to our local system using rsync. Next, we're going to walk through the command to run to schedule the backups to run automatically through a cron job. In order to set up this schedule, you need to make sure you have the cpctl tool on your system. I created a video previously on how to install the cpctl tool. First, we're going to run cpctl load to initialize the program. And now we can run cpctl tools, schedule cp4s full backup. You need to give it a token. And in order to do that, we just pass in the oc whoami command. Just like we did in the manual step, we have to give a password to the file for encryption. And then lastly, we need to provide a schedule of how often we'd like this backup to run. The format of the schedule is in cron. This is the default schedule for this command, which will run at midnight on the 6th day of the week. We'll run that to set up that schedule. And now we've set up the schedule to automatically run that backup script for us. The next step would be to manually download those files when the backup is completed. We're setting a rsync cron job as well to automatically download the files from the backup and restore pod when the backup runs every week. We went through how to manually run the backup script on our XDR Connect environment, as well as download the backup files to our local system. Then lastly, we walked through how to automatically set up the backup script for us. Thank you and have a good day.